All right, we are up to exercise 9C, which is all about multi-stage experiments, and we are looking at question 1, which reads, 2 fair coins are tossed. 2 fair coins are tossed. Use the sample space for this experiment to find the probability of observing no heads. So we have to figure out what the sample space is of this experiment, and a good way to systematically do this when we're dealing with coin tosses is to use a tree diagram. So when we flip a coin, we have two options. We could either get a head or we could get a tail. And this would represent my first flip of the coin. If I did get a head, when I come to flip my second coin, I could then get either a head or a tail. And so too, if my first flip was a tail, my second flip could be either a head or a tail. So this column right here would represent my second flip. Having now done my tree diagram, I could then represent all the elements of my sample space by going, I could either get a head and a head. So one option, if I flipped 2 coins twice, is to get 2 heads. Or I could get a head and then a tail. So a head and then a tail. I could then get either a tail and a head, a tail and a head. Or then I could get a tail and a tail. So I'm just listing out all the elements of my sample space. And as you can see here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 options. Now the question is asking me to find what is the possibility of getting no heads. So all we would have to do is go through all the elements of our sample space and go, all right, well I have 2 heads here, that doesn't count. I have a head here, that doesn't count. I have a head here, that doesn't count. The only place where I get no heads is if I flipped 2 tails. And there's only one of these options. There's only one of these options out of 4 options. So my answer is going to be 1 out of 4. Perfect. Let's now go to my second part of the question. So here, again, we're still in question 1, but now B. So we've flipped a fair coin twice, but now we want to find the possibility of getting, or the probability rather, of getting more than 1 tail. So I've already done my tree diagram and listed out all the elements of my sample space, and we're trying to figure out when do I get more than 1 tail. Well, here I don't get any tails, so that doesn't count. Here I get 1 tail, that's not what I want. Here I get 1 tail again, but I want more than 1, so these two aren't going to work either. The only place where I get more than 1 tail is when I flip 2 tails, which is kind of obvious. So now, when I figure out, well, I have 4 options, and only one of these options is going to satisfy what I'm after. So therefore, there's a 1 in 4 chance that when flipping 2 fair coins, I'm going to get more than 1 tail. 1 in 4. Hopefully this makes sense to you. Good luck with the rest of the questions.